Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is September 18th, 2025. We are in the New Testament book of Luke. We are going to read chapter 12, chapter 12, verse 13 to 48. All right, so we're going to start with a parable of a rich fool. Why is he a fool? Well, because he is chasing after possessions, consumerism, things. And he's putting all his faith in stuff and not in God. And God says, all right, well, here's you're foolish. You're going to die, and all your stuff goes to somebody else. Because what you should have been doing is laying up treasure in heaven. And then Jesus goes in and says, don't worry about what's going to happen in your life. Again, put your worry and put your thoughts on God and pleasing God and doing what's right in God's eyes. Again, building up your treasures in heaven, and God will supply everything you need here. And he finishes this section off with a parable about a faithful servant and an evil servant. And essentially saying, what's the faithful servant? Again, putting their faith in God. I'm not worried about being good here. I'm not worried about what I'm going to do here. I'm not worried about where my money's coming from and where my food's coming from. I'm worried about making sure that when God calls me, whether it's at Jesus' second coming or my death, that I'm ready. The evil servant, he's worried about stuff. Doesn't matter when Jesus comes, he ain't going to be ready. Doesn't matter when he dies, he ain't going to be ready for it. That's what we are called to do as Christians. Put our faith entirely in God. Work to be pleasing and obedient to God. Put our faith into action and trust that at the final call we hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. Let's go ahead. We're going to read Luke chapter 12, verse 13 to 48. Then one from the crowd said to him, Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. And that would be something that you would come to a rabbi over, but that's not what you want to come to Jesus over. All right, let's pick it back up. But he said to him, Man, who made me a judge or an arbitrator over you? And he said to him, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses. Then he spoke a parable to them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man yielded plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, since I have no room to store my crops? So he said, I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there I will store all my crops and all my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, Fool, this night your soul will be required of you. Then whose will these things be which you have provided? So is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Then he said to his disciples, Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, nor about the body, what you will put on. Life is more than food, and the body is more than clothing. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which have neither storehouse nor barn, and God feeds them. Of how much more value are you than the birds? And which of you by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature? If you then are not able to do the least, why are you anxious for the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, and yet I say to you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothes the grass, which today is in the field and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? And do not seek what you should eat or what you should drink, nor have any anxious mind, for all these things the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knows that you need these things. But seek the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell what you have, and give alms. Provide yourself money bags which do not grow old, a treasure in the heavens that does not fail, where no thief approaches nor moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Let your waist be girded and your lamps burning, and you yourselves be like men who wait for their master, when he will return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the master, when he comes, will find watching. Assuredly, I say to you that he will gird himself and have them sit down to eat, and will come and serve them. And if he should come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them, so blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. And Peter said to him, Lord, do you speak this parable only to us or to all people? And the Lord said, Who then is that faithful and wise steward whom his master will make ruler over his household to give them their portion of food in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you that he will make him ruler over all that he has. But if that servant says in his heart, My master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat the male and female servants and to eat and drink when he drinks, the master of that servant shall come on a day when he is not looking for him, and an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in two and appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. And that servant who knew his master's will and did not prepare himself or do according to his will shall be beaten with many stripes. But he who did not know yet committed things deserving of stripes shall be beaten with few. For everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be required, and to him whom much has been committed, of him they will ask the more. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.